You've heard of MBAs, you've heard of the management programs churning out the next big CXO. But what if, under the surface, there was a program that was not just about numbers, but about questioning the very systems we live in? Hidden in the hills of Kozhikode, there is a program that's quietly modeling the students to check the ethics, turn back to the cultures even before they touch a balance sheet. This is not just any MBA, this is the LSM story.
Alright, hi everyone. So welcome to the very special third episode of the LSM Experience. All of you guys know me, I'm Shrey. This is my co-host for the day today, Ishita. She is from LSM 5, and we have a very special guest today, Aastha from LSM 3, to talk about the program. So with that, I'll hand it over to her, and you can just give us a bit of your background.
Hi, I'm Aastha. I'm from PhD LSM 03. My background is basically that of a commerce student from Gari College, Delhi University, post which I have 2 years of work experience in a startup as well as a mid-sized firm in real estate. And post which I joined PhD LSM for the uniqueness of this course and because I wanted to understand a lot of things that this course has to offer, which are very different from a normal MBA. And so I joined here. Post my 2 years, I joined Reckitt and I'm working there as management trainee, completed my 1 year there as of now.
So, how did you hear about the program, and what was the sort of trigger point where you finally said, okay, I want to join LSM?
So I was very interested in marketing from the very beginning, right? And having worked in the industry before actually doing an MBA, I understood that a marketing is not just about creating ads like most people think it is, or even coming up with brands or managing events on the whole. It has a lot of nuances wherein you have to understand the psychology of people, you have to root them into cultures, you have to also understand how they would react to a certain point of view, right? Like you might want to place that, and how would you want to actually place those things in front of them so that they would receive it very well. So while I was understanding this in my workplace, I saw PhD LSM's course as a perfect fit for me personally as a marketing career person who wanted to actually do marketing a lot. And I saw this place where it was giving you subjects like social transformation of India or innovation in different courses. You have these core courses, and you have courses in your second year as well, wherein you're talking about service management and building those things together. How do you come up with social psychology, in fact, personal psychology, discovery of self, right? Which is also helping you understand how people really think and respond to things. So I found this course to be very perfectly blended in itself with these different courses along with the normal MBA courses that we have in terms of accounts, management, and strategy, leadership, as well as marketing. So that's the reason I picked this course.
So even before joining the course, did you have this idea in mind that this is what LSM is going to be? What were your expectations? Like what were you looking for, and was LSM able to fulfill your expectations?
So I was just looking at the blend of subjects, to be very honest, when I was looking at LSM as a whole, and I did not do a lot of research because I was very satisfied anyway. So I was really hoping to get in, and after that, I think LSM went far and beyond. And it was not just because of these subjects, but it was because how LSM and the people who join LSM and how they are recruited into this program, and I would say recruited. And so the legit amazing individuals coming from diverse backgrounds, having so many different perspectives, even your classroom sessions that you might have are so enjoyable, so different in opinions from different ways that I felt it was just opening my brains to so many more new things.
I think this is sort of a commonality of an IIM program in general, where peer learning is one of the biggest factors on why you should join an IIM. But that's what makes LSM extra special in this manner, because this, as you said, the recruitment of the program is very diverse. As every year the interviews reduce, every year there is something that piques someone's interest somewhere, and they have such diverse sort of opinions to give. So, now that the program, you've completely seen the program. right? So, what is some of the things that sort of stood out to you as something this program can offer that not a lot of others do?
So we have something called the international immersion and the rural immersion, and we have something that I really liked was social innovation projects. Right? These three things are where you will really involve yourself as an individual and as a class as a whole, right? And you will understand things which you would never dream of. Right? So even the PGP batch has something called a foreign exchange, but that mostly helps them do things on their own. They plan a lot of things on their own. While over here in your international immersions, it's all done by the institute with an agenda in mind that they would want to teach you something very different culturally, in terms of social surroundings, in terms of people, in terms of what they have, the other country has to offer. And here the uniqueness is that every batch gets to do something different. We go to a different country every year, right? So when we all come together and we talk to the juniors and the seniors, we've all had varied experiences. And the rural immersion really humbles you. You know, you go to the grassroots levels, you do the smallest of things, like every other person over there would do, and you feel and understand their struggles, their pains, how, and you think from your management mind at that very point is how you can reduce that. So you're actually really making a difference with a purpose, and that's one of the most beautiful feelings in the world. It really changes you.
So, how do you think the program prepared you for your very first role? Like when you went into Reckitt, what was something that made you stand out against all the other interns there? And what was something that, how did you position yourself differently in regards to the others?
So I believe that everybody who came to Reckitt was amazing. First of all, let's put it that way. And I also feel very lucky that I got chosen and I got a PPO over there. But I feel that what made me stand out in my interviews was how I was able to convince them that I would be a very great fit since I have a lot of people handling skills, right? And that I got majorly from my course. I got majorly from some of the experiences that I had earlier, but also they just rooted me that okay, I understand people better. Hence, I'll be able to understand the situation, be more empathetic, and be a people's person. And that's what I believe, and that's what I've been told, and made me stand out.
I think in sales roles as well, where you do go to some remote locations and work, it's very important to understand their way of life rather than sit in an ivory tower and sort of dictate it. And I think that is one perspective that this program does offer, if not anything else. So, okay. Now that you're in the industry, and everyone knows where the industry is heading. I don't even want to say the buzzwords. Everyone knows and all of that. And one question we get as current LSM students very often is in this very technology-rich world, where does a program like LSM stand out?
Okay.
And since you're in the industry, would you have something to say about this?
Sure. So I definitely believe that AI is going to take over a lot of things. Okay, but the few things that AI is not going to be able to take over, in my personal opinion, is going to be a lot of behavioral aspects, a lot of nuances which are related to people. Since people are very dynamic, and even AI can't predict what we might do or think to next, right? And LSM as a program is going to help us understand management, business, leadership in very different terms, because we have the backing of history, sociology, psychology, as along with us, along with the innovation, along with traits that it tries to inculcate in us, such as empathy, right? That's a very big one. Trying to understand different perceptions, right? There is no one right answer always, or there is no one right, as I've understood from this program. So, since you have so many perspectives, it opens up your minds to understanding where that person who's sitting in front of you is coming from, right? And that makes the whole difference. So, these things together are going to make a major difference.
Yeah. I think once again we're coming back to the buzzword on our podcast, which is the human element of things. But it is literally this very intangible presence that all of us have felt while going through the program. And it has helped, I think, each of us in a lot of situations, in a big variety of situations. Okay. So what would be some significant growths that you've seen that has been largely attributed to this program or something like that?
Growth.
Yeah.
Okay. So growth can be defined in many terms, according to me. So the first growth that I would say is that it was how we built ourselves as a class, right? And how each one of us was very different when we came in and coming up with different perceptions, dreams, wants, goals. And they all came together while we were there helping each other. So I feel that the first stepping stone that you will see in LSM is how you bond with each other as a class, as a team, how you stand up for each other. We really learned to do that for each other, and that still goes on till this day. Post which, if you're talking in terms of a career angle, if you're talking in terms of a growth mindset, I think you're always very determined to keep moving forward. Because as an IIM and as an LSM program, you're always pushed to newer boundaries, to think about newer things, and not just settle for something that is your strength, right? So you're pushed together as a class, you're pushed as an individual. So that I think always helps me, because if I'm stuck anywhere in my career zone, I always go back to, okay, I would have to do this, I still have to do it, and that determination just is very alive in every one of us.
So, you mentioned about the real version and how it helped you, humble yourself and work with people who you might not associate yourself with initially. So, has the program, along with all the attributes that come with it, help you, change your perspective of success as a whole? Like, is success the same to you as it was in the beginning?
Very good question. An extremely good question, and yes, it has. So initially, success was a lot about doing great in your career and having some amount of wealth and money, being able to build that. Honestly, I mean, everybody in IIM's come for that package and that CBC, of course, right? But along with this, I think the one thing that I got in with LSM was purpose. That wherever I'm working, I should have a purpose in mind. I should have something that I'm actually making, where I'm making a difference, and I'm making a difference to someone who really needs it in this world. So I would love to work with companies in the future who would be able to make a difference to others, maybe even with something of my own if I get an opportunity to. But yes, that has come in as an addition to what I previously thought as what success means to me.
That's very nice to hear.
I think that's a great viewpoint and a great perspective for prospective students, if you will, because I think that is when we see a newer batch come in, there's always that hunger that's there of that wealth or whatever it is. And, but I think it slowly transitions as people age a bit more. And again, another sort of thing that LSM adds to that growth, if you will.
Right. So it's that I would still want all the things that I previously wanted. There's nothing that is cut out. I still want the same things, except that now I'm going to achieve the same with a purpose in mind. To think that I'm doing something 24/7, or if I'm doing something 5 days a week for 12 hours, I should want to do it every day. I should feel my heart and soul into that. Right? So that became very important for me.
Yeah.
I think, if you don't mind, we would like to delve into more of your marketing experience, or our marketing is out there. So, how is the sales experience being on the field, and how is the growth looking like? How do you expect to go up the ladder? Basically.
Sure. So that I think depends on industry to industry. For where I am, which is FMCG, there is you need to compulsorily do a sales stint for a certain amount of time, because if you are not able to do that sales stint, if you don't go on the ground, again the same things, you will never understand what the people are really looking for, or what are the problems on ground and how things go, because at the end of the day your execution matters most, right? And how people perceive your product matters most, which is only what you can get when you're on ground. So my experience has been very, very enlightening, to say, because there was still a lot that we haven't found out. Right? We get a lot of things from LSM, but there's always more to learn. So that's what I've gotten from on ground. I've been to parts of Rajasthan for my work, then I've been south in Tamil Nadu, rural areas, and now I'm also now in the west in Maharashtra borders in 3 lakh population towns, trying to actually understand how people think. So it'd be very different, met different kinds of people, from students to people in the urban areas to rural in south, and how they behave versus what happens in Maharashtra. That's all very different. As far as growth is concerned, and hopefully I do well. My companies and my managers think I'm doing okay. So can't say much about that.
I think that's fair enough. So you've been in the program for a few years now, right? So, and the program is very young. So I think you've seen almost half of the program's life. So what do you think is the sort of legacy this very unique, one-of-a-kind program in India is trying to leave? What is it trying to achieve? What do you think is the larger role of this program?
Making very responsible leaders who care. Right? It's not just about going up the ladder and being the smartest in the room. It's about taking your team with you, having that human element, and doing things with a purpose.
Right.
So that is what this program would leave as a legacy behind. So even if you go up to any seniors, and we felt that they would always receive you like family. Right? So it's the LSM family, and everybody they work with becomes their family. And that is what we are aiming for, a better world, a better future with better leaders.
I think, yeah, go ahead.
It's still in that program, and we're going to expand the program. In the future, like how is the industry receiving the program? How is it looking like for it? Would you like to say something?
So it's receiving it really well. It's receiving it at par with any other program, and then of course, like every person as an individual. So they receive you not from a program perspective, but as an individual perspective. So the program gives you a lot of backing and a platform to showcase what you have, which are very different to you than someone else, and what's your differentiating factor basically. And then you take that forward. So you are received as an equal individual across all, and you also have to prove your worth. But the program gives you some setting, some opportunities, some backing, which can help you do this.
I think that's probably it from my end. Do you have anything?
No, that's great. I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to add something for the end for the audience? Something?
So I'd just like to say that give LSM a chance, and you'll really be very thankful to Shrey. At least that's my personal experience.
That's our experience too.
Yeah, so thank you so much guys. Thank you for watching the video.